Hi guys, welcome to my house. I really miss seeing you. I was hoping to be there for your April break and to do some fun things with you about the zoo. But since we can't be there in person and you can't take your field trip, I thought I'd share one of my stories with you. This story is called If I Ran the Zoo by Dr. Seuss, one of my favorite authors. And so listen close, and afterwards I have a fun project, a little bit of a challenge for you, and I hope that you send me the finished projects that you're going to do based on this story. So here we go. If I Ran the Zoo by Dr. Seuss. It's a pretty good zoo, said young Gerald McGrew, and the fellow who runs it seems proud of it too. But if I ran the zoo, said young Gerald McGrew, I'd make a few changes. That's just what I'd do. The lions and the tigers, well, that kind of stuff they have up here now, well, they're quite not good enough. You see, things like these are in just any old zoo. They're awfully old-fashioned. I want something new. So, I'd open each cage. I'd unlock every pen, let the animals go, and then start all over again. And somehow or other, I think I could find some beasts of a much more unusual kind. A four-footed lion, now, that's not much of a beast. The one in my zoo would have 10 feet at least. 5 legs on the left and 5 more on the right. Then people will stare and they'll say, "What a sight! This new keeper, Gerald's quite keen. That's the gold-darndest lion I ever have seen." But that's just a start. I'll do better than that. They'll see me the next day in my zookeeper's hat, coming into my zoo with an elephant cat. They'll be so surprised. They'll all swallow their gum. They'll ask when they see my strange animals come, "Where do you suppose he gets things like that from? His animals all have such very odd faces. I'll bet he must hunt them in unusual places." Ha! Well, I'll catch him in caves, and I'll catch him in brooks. I'll catch him in crannies, and I'll catch him in nooks that you don't read about in geography books. I'll catch him in countries that no one can spell, like the country of Matafapatafapel. In a country like that, if a hunter is clever, he'll hunt up some beasts that you never saw ever. And then I'll go down to the wilds of Nantucket and capture a family of lunks in a bucket. Then people will say, "Now I like that boy heaps. His new zoo, McGrew Zoo, is growing by leaps. He captures them wild. He captures them meek. He captures them slim. And he captures them sleek. What do you suppose he will capture next week?" Then I'll capture them fat, and I'll capture them scrawny. I'll capture a scragglefoot mulligatawny, a high-stepping animal, fast as the wind, from the blistering sands of the desert of Zend. This beast is the beast that the brave chieftains ride when they go fast to find some place to hide. A mulligatawny is fine for my zoo. And so is a chieftain. I'll bring him back too. Most beasts are quite friendly, but still in some lands, some beasts are too dangerous to catch with your hands. For those that are ugly and vicious and mean, I'll build a bad animal catching machine. It's rather expensive to build such a kit, but with it, a hunter will never get bit. And a zoo should have bugs. So I'll capture a thwirl whose legs are all snarled up in a terrible snarl. And then I'll go out and I'll capture some chugs, some keen shooter, bean shooter, pea shooter bugs. Then I'll bag a big bug who is very surprising. A feller who has a propeller rising and zooming around, making cross-country hops from Texas to Boston with only 2 stops. Now that sort of thing, for a bug, it's just tops. And when I've caught him, then the next thing you know, I'll go and I'll capture a wild tic-tac-toe with X's that win and with zeros that lose. He'll look mighty good in this zoo of McGrews. Then I'll bring back a gusset, a gherkin, and a gasket, and also a gooch from the wilds of Nantasket, and 8 Persian princes will carry the basket. But what their names are, I don't know, so don't ask it. I'll go to the faraway mountain of Tobsk, near the river of Nobsk, and I'll bring back an Obsk, a sort of a kind of a thingamabobsk, who only eats rhubarb and corn on the cobsk. Then people will flock to my zoo in a mobsk. McGrew, they will say, does a wonderful jobsk. He hunts with such vim and he hunts with such vigor. His new zoo, McGrew Zoo, keeps getting bigger and bigger. I'll hunt in the jungles of Hipponohungus and bring back a flock of Bippo Nobungus. The Bippo Nobungus from Hipponohungus, they're better than those from down in Dippo-Nodungus, and smarter than those in Hipponohungus. Instead of those others in Nungus and Dungus, yeah. And people will say when they see these bips bounding, this zookeeper, new keeper's simply astounding. He travels so far that you think he would drop. When do you suppose this fellow will stop? Stop? Huh. Well, I should. But I won't stop until I've captured the Fizzimadillo, the world's biggest bird from the island of Gwark. The world's biggest bird who eats pine trees and spits out bark. And boy, when I get him back home to my park, the whole world will say, young McGrew's made his mark. He's built a better zoo than Noah's whole ark. these wonderful, marvelous beasts that he chooses have made him the greatest of all the McGrewses. Wow, they'll all cheer. What this zoo must be worth. It's the gold-darndest zoo on the face of the earth. Yes, that's what I'd do, said young Gerald McGrew. I'd make a few changes if I ran the zoo. So now here's your challenge for the project. I want you to think about a strange creature that you would put in your zoo if you ran the zoo. Now, it could be something like the elephant cat, but you can't use that because Dr. Seuss already did. Or maybe you're going to make up a strange new creature like the Nobsk or the Bobsk or the Thobsk, but you can't do that because Dr. Seuss already did. So this is what I want you to do. Make your own amazing creature if you ran the zoo. Draw it, take a picture of it, and then you can email it to me at katgclarke@gmail.com. That's catgclarke@gmail.com. And when I get them, I'll forward them to Miss Alyssa so she can put them on the WonderCare website and we can see your great artwork and your fantastic ideas. Thanks for joining me, guys, and I really miss you. Bye.